Plastic Soul, man. Plastic Soul.
Yeah, man. I don't even know what that means.
You know, they say that at the end of this song, Take One, that was on the anthology, and I think that was something to do with Bob Dylan, and that's kind of where they got the name. You know, Plastic Soul, it kind of converted over to Rubber Soul, and that's where they got the name for the album, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Of course, this is Justin and Tyler, and this is Classic Vinyl Podcast and our Meet the Beatles series, and we're up to the Beatles' I'm Down.
That would explain the introduction music.
Yes, that's why it would be that way. We're trying to do the Beatles the best we can in chronological order. There are a few different things that we can't do that way. For example, this song was the B-side of the song Help, so we're holding off on Help until we do the actual album. So some of them aren't going to work that way, but they're pretty much in chronological order. So on our Meet the Beatles series, we don't give the whole history of the Beatles. We assume that you know the history of John, Paul, George, and Ringo, the four lads from Liverpool, and how they changed the world. They've changed my world. They're my favorite band. I'm trying to get Tyler indoctrinated into the music of the Beatles. I think it's working, but it's still a work in progress, and we've got a long ways to go.
I'm more convinced that George Martin is a Beatle than George R.R. Martin.
Well, that's a good point.
So I'm getting there.
So before we get into the song I'm Down by the Beatles, Tyler, what is your history with this song?
First time.
So we listened to it two times all the way through the original version. Then we listened to the alternate version of Take One on Anthology 2. And that's your first time hearing it, huh?
Yeah, and I prefer the Take One.
Really?
I do.
Is it just because it was goofy?
I think that plays into it some. It has more personality with the goofiness.
And I like it. I like that portion of it, but I also like the fact that the finished has the backing vocals and things like that. But yeah, they don't have those overdubbed in the first take. But let me give you a little history on I'm Down. So this was released on July 19th of 1965, and like I stated earlier, it was the B-side to the A-side song of Help, being the title song to the album Help, and we're going to get onto that next Beatles episode. We'll be on to the album Help. So this song was written by Lennon McCartney, but this is mainly a McCartney composition. It is sang by Paul McCartney. This was recorded at EMI Studios and produced by George Martin. Recorded on June 14th, 1965. It was recorded the same day as I've Just Seen a Face and their very popular song Yesterday. And I find that kind of funny. You know, it was released on July 19th. This thing was recorded just a month before.
Wow.
And a whole month later, it's out as a single. That just doesn't happen nowadays.
My timeline with the Beatles is kind of really screwed up because it seems to me that Yesterday is a much later song than this one seems.
Number one, they were recorded at the same time. Now, Yesterday is on the album Help. This is a non-album single, basically to promote the album Help. So they're basically the same time.
Yeah, that just blows me away that they're contemporaries.
Yep, they sure are. So even though this was released as a single only, it can be found on Past Masters, and then it can also be found on that Anthology 2, that separate take version of it. This is another one of McCartney's vocals. He's basically attempting in the style of Little Richard. And I've seen that written a lot of places, and I've even seen McCartney say that, and I agree with it to a certain extent, but McCartney has such a different vocal. When he's trying to be Little Richard, if that's what he's really trying to emulate, I don't think he does a very good job. And I mean that with all due respect, because I think McCartney blows Little Richard away. He has such his own voice that it's just completely different. And maybe that's what he's trying to be, but he does an amazing job at it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that the opening to this song, I heard John Lennon screaming, but then as it goes along, I'm like, that's not Lennon. Because the only time I've heard, I haven't heard this kind of screaming very frequently from the Beatles, and usually it's like, you know, Twist and Shout with John Lennon. But
correct.
But this is Paul McCartney.
Yeah, and Paul McCartney did a lot of those songs that he even says to this day were in the style of Little Richard, but I think he outdoes Little Richard. And maybe outdoes is a bad way to put it. He makes it his complete own, and McCartney being the guy of 1,000 voices, really, too. He does an amazing job at it. So this is kind of a departure from the band's previous songs leading up to this, because most of their other songs were about love or girl or whatever. And this is about a girl, I assume, but this is definitely more on the negative side.
This is about a mean girl.
Yeah, kind of. And you didn't have a lot of negative songs. The Beatles were, I shouldn't say it's a fully negative song, but it's more negative than what they'd be singing. And up until this point, you didn't have that associated with the Beatles.
Yeah, this isn't about a girl that belongs on a pedestal. This is about a girl who's just toying with this guy's emotions, and it's wrecking him.
Yeah. So kind of like the album Help that this was kind of recorded during. Help was a cry for John Lennon and was more of a down song as well. So this was a turning period for the boys on this. But this song seems to be kind of a more joking song than an earnest song. And you know what the lines, man buys a ring, woman throws it away, same old thing happens every day. We're all alone. There's nobody else. You still moan. Keep your hands to yourself. So it is kind of a funny song in that way, but it is kind of it's just a departure.
Yes, it is a departure because you don't get that like sincere little puppy love with this. It's more like, hey, love can be torturesome too. Not all. I guess this is what they're saying is not all relationships are sweet little puppy dog love. Sometimes it's just a real mean girl.
Kind of sounds to me like she's not that mean. I mean, we're all alone and there's nobody else. You still moan to me. Keep your hands to yourself. So he's trying to get something out of this, and she's telling him to leave her alone.
So maybe this is just a one-sided relationship.
Yeah, either that or she wants to wait till marriage.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll change her mind once the popularity of the Beatles keep taking off like it is. Of course, they're worldwide popular by this point, but
superstars.
Yeah, one interesting thing about this song is the Beatles opened their 1965 North American tour at Shea Stadium on August 15th of 1965, playing to a crowd of 55,000, which was unheard of at the time, and that's, still the band's largest crowd they've played to, although they haven't played to too many crowds really. But during their version of this, it's kind of crazy. You can see it on the anthology videos, but you've got Lennon. He's playing the Vox Continental organ. He's playing it with his elbows, and him and Harrison are freaking out and laughing and can hardly play through all the laughing they got going on. It's kind of a funny thing to watch him play this. So good song live as well. So, Tyler, after listening this song 3 times for your first time ever, what are your initial thoughts of the Beatles' I'm Down?
My first thought that I'm still shaken by that abrupt open. I mean, it's not just a vocal opening; it's a shouting opening.
And I had it turned up quite loud.
It was. I was shook. I'm still recovering from that. But I gotta say, the Beatles this is the kind of song that they love to play, and you can tell that these guys are just having so much fun, and I can see that visual. I haven't seen the anthology, but I do want to go and watch it now. I want to see this song as Lennon's playing with his elbows and Harrison's laughing his butt off, and they can't even play because they're having so much fun.
Well, it's funny you said you want to see the anthology because they just announced that they're re-releasing the anthology in 4K, adding a new episode to it. It's coming out on Disney on Thanksgiving weekend. So I know what I'll be doing.
All right.
And I hope you'll be doing the same.
I better.
You better, or you may not be welcome back in the studio.
I understand. As for the rest of this song, this guy, he's taken with the girl, but this is in that style of Little Richard. And so part of me looks at this song and I'm like, okay, a lot of these rock and roll songs came out of like the black music and the juke joints of early years. And so the blues that they were singing about their girl or something, but really their girl was just a metaphor for the boss or, and so I wonder how much of that might be here that, this guy's given everything to the job and his boss is giving him nothing in return sort of thing. But then again, this is the Beatles, so I can't go that deep into it. I've just got to stick on the surface and say, these guys are having fun. These guys are just like, they're writing about a different kind of relationship than that sweet little, hey, she's into me just as much as I'm into her. And we're just, milkshakes at the ice cream shoppy, and cruising down to the Lover's Point at moonlight. And this is a different kind where she's just like, why are you so down? She's sitting there laughing at him, like, because he keeps falling over himself for her and trying to win her heart, but she's just not that into him, it seems. Or who knows, maybe she doesn't want to be into him, but she just likes toying with him. I'm having a hard time deciphering the meaning. I just know it's different, but I like it. Even so, as dark of a meaning as I could take from this, maybe I just need to lighten up and just accept that, hey, maybe this song's more parody and just having fun. A song to joke about weird relationships. I don't know. It doesn't all have to be about, I'm in love with a mean girl that likes to torture me and laugh at me when I'm crying, which is what it comes across as. Not a bad song. I enjoyed it. It's really well done. And you can tell they have fun playing it and singing it. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
So I really enjoy this song. You've got McCartney's always kind of pigeonholed as playing the puppy love songs and things like that. But when you look through the Beatles catalog from A to Z, most of the heavy rockers are Paul McCartney's as well. But so are the so-called granny tunes, and so are the puppy love songs and things like that. But when it comes to screaming, Lennon's got a couple vocals that are great, but McCartney really kicks it. And what I like about this song is how it kicks straight into the vocal. You've got Lennon's low timbre kick in the back. You can hear both him and Harrison singing in the background. You can tell which one's which very easily. And the McCartney screaming vocals throughout the whole song are great. I especially like them at the end. When the song's ending, he lets out some pretty good screams that are good. The bass is okay in this, but it's probably the most non-existent thing. And I don't know if that's because McCartney's focused so heavily on screaming on this, but it's got a really good raw guitar solo by George that I like. And I like that in the original. I liked it in the alternate. It's pretty much the same both places there. And you've got Lennon playing the Hammond organ throughout this song, which fits really well in this. And there's even a little breakdown with a Hammond organ solo, which is really good. I would think another thing that's really needs to be said about this song is Ringo plays the drums and the bongos in this, and the drums really thump in this song. More so than I can say about a lot of their early songs. And I noticed that on this stereo more than anything. Obviously, when I hear it on my computer when I'm working or when I hear it in the car or whatever, I don't notice that as much, but the drums are really powerful in this song. So if you've got a good stereo to listen to it on, really check that out. But this is a good all-around song. I really like it. And I tend to find myself not listening to some of the past master songs as much just because they don't fall on the albums. And I'm definitely an album guy. I listen to the albums a lot. So a lot of times these non-album singles that made it to past masters, I just don't hear them quite as much. So it's good to hear them, but a really good song. Definitely. I really enjoy this. Do you want to get to the song rating?
Let's rate it.
Song rating.
Okay, listener, if this is your first episode, I'll briefly explain our rating scale. It's 0 to 10, 10 being the best, and I haven't seen anything south of 5 on the Beatles, and I don't really anticipate it because these guys are that good. I put this one at an 8, and I really liked it. Paul has an amazing and incredibly strong voice to be screaming like that throughout the whole song, and it's just a great rocker of a song. This is so much fun. A real great jam, and you can feel them having so much fun doing this song, so that's why I put it way up there. Where do you put this one, Justin?
Well, that's funny because this is the second episode we've recorded today, and we rated the first one exactly the same, and I'm an 8 on this one as well. Now, I do rate all the Beatles songs based on a scale, not on anybody else. I think this is an 8 on the scale. I am going to see Paul McCartney live for probably the last time ever in Las Vegas, the 1st of October. I highly doubt he'll sing this song, but it would be one I'd like to hear. I just don't think his voice could probably hold up still to this one, but it would be interesting to hear it. But this is a good song. Like I said, I rated an 8. It's a song that I like visiting, especially when you can hear it on a good stereo, and it's a powerful song. And what's kind of cool about the Beatles is we talked about this song being a little bit more negative than what they've been doing. That's what I like about them is they anything they did, once they got a pattern, they pulled out of it and did something different. Even if it was what was making them the popularity and the money, they went an opposite direction. And we've said it before, but I don't know if it was McCartney or Lennon that said it, but as soon as they found something that worked, they wanted to make sure to change it. And I think that was smart of them. That's why they're innovators. That's why they're my favorite band. So that's our Meet the Beatles series, and I'm down. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them to us at classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. And once again, we really appreciate you taking your time to listen to us. So until next time, see you later.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates, and also share us with your music-loving friends.